Oh, boom. What up, y'all? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host, A.D. Walker. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for always participating. Let's see. Split this. There we go. Hey, Lisa, good morning. Blessings and thank you for sharing. Mama McCory, always in the YouTube and the Facebook at the same time. Look at that, multitasking in the building. We appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for always being a part of what we do. Um, so I'm rearing up for a challenge for you guys tomorrow. A challenge. So that's all I'm saying about that. Something. Well, Mama Corey, we've been kind of working on, and I'm gonna probably bust it out tomorrow. I am gonna bust it out tomorrow. If you're not part of our Discord community, click the link. Find out all the things that we're doing. Join our Discord community. Join our Discord community, and always be in the know, be in the happening. Know what's going down with the brothers. So I appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us, hanging with us, supporting all this time. This year, we're going to take it up a notch. So definitely stay tuned. There's just been some things in the background. I know I've said that, and we have. It just takes work with people scheduling. Uh, sometimes the financial hurdles and scheduling. Timing, when you don't have a huge budget, you got to work with what you got. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys for being a part of all that we do. All right, so today, and if you haven't joined our community, text LW and look at all these ways for you to stay connected. Text LW in the Legacy Walker Network to 845-768-4576. And know what's going down with the brothers, the purpose, and the sisters. All right. So today we're discussing, does your discipline match your expectations? Make sure you share this out. Does your discipline match your expectations? Does your discipline match your expectations? So we're going to dig into this conversation. It's funny, right? I wrote this down some time ago. My wife's like, "Hey, this is," because I jot like notes all the time, like everywhere. If you see this desk, you're very disappointed in me. But I just staying on top of things that we can discuss that matter, to us as well as others. Quick question: do you guys hear that fan? I hear it because my headphones are connected directly to the mic, so everything is sensitive. But let me know if you hear that fan, if it's a lot. If so, then I can shift it a little bit. I'm hot, like really, really hot. So again, make sure you share. Sharing is caring. If you know some other brothers, share this with them so they could be a part of all that we do, especially if you're in the great state of Georgia, who's in the building. What up, Richard? Anthony T. Walker napkins. Not sure what that means. So we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us, and always hanging out. Again, make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Okay, awesome, Lisa. Thank you. Appreciate that. She says no. What else? Yo, real quick before we get started, I watched John Oliver last News Tonight. I always get that wrong. And he was talking about the monopolies. And if you don't know, monopoly is basically a company that owns a huge share or part of a market. And he was talking about the big tech conglomerates like Google, Amazon, I think Facebook as well, and how Google and especially Amazon keep competition from growing. Notes on it's a notes on napkins. That's funny. So Let's see. So yeah, you said notes on napkins. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask. It's not my strong suit sometimes. And the thing is, how competition is hard, because Amazon now makes products as well. So if I make a similar product, how can you compete in the same person's store? So, so the key is it's time for Amazon to kind of break it up, their manufacturing division and their store division, to separate, because there's such a huge conglomerate owning, like, I think it's as high as 90% of the share of internet purchases are done through Amazon, because it's convenient, of course. The buy button makes it very easy. He said, "Oh, so definitely, definitely the big conglomerates are affecting, the smaller people and those that are trying to get into the market, and it makes the bar really high. Even with Google, most of the searches and things that you see are from Google when you first Google something, as opposed to other companies and things of that nature, or people that pay for specific ad space. Yeah. So these are some of the challenges. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. It was on my mind. Sometimes I just got to say it so I get off my head, because I'll be thinking about it. But yeah, so today we're going to talk about, does your discipline match your expectations? Let's see. Oh, sorry. Stop reading text, Anthony. Stop reading text. Let's see. All right. Make sure I've done sent my links out. I did my part. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to bust out an oldie but goodie intro. And then I promise you, next week will be a new intro. I'm changing some things up. All right. Be right back. I want to welcome you to the Brothers of Legacy broadcast, where we are changing our community one conversation at a time, every day.
We are creating a new legacy. Change gon' come. 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 A co-op has to start with ownership. Right. We have a mindset of either I want to make a lot of money or survive. Make a bunch of money or I got to figure out how to survive.
When you have a real bond, when everyone has, we come in with real expectations. Because this is covenant.
The whole premise is that we as a people, with our money and time, aren't often making this journey possible, often vested in the business.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
All right. Welcome back. What's up, Keita? All right. So that all you're the best? Yes, I am. Why, yes. Yes, I am. Richard said, not sure. They do stop competition growing. Just means you have to raise your game. Also, decent digital marketing teams to set you apart. Also, if you use Amazon Web Services for your websites that Amazon will promote, they're not stupid. Yeah, but that's some of the reason that's why they're going to get so big. They're going to be broken up like AT&T, because Amazon has been practicing things to stifle competition, and it's been known. So they're going to be broken up. I'm sure now that the Congress is getting into this, and yeah, I can guarantee that in a couple of years. I don't know how long the fight with AT&T started. I'm not that old. I kind of sort of remember when they were all AT&T was all one, kind of sort of, and I remember hearing about the big breakup. But yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, government eventually steps in when you get too big. Eventually, and I think with Amazon, because they are, and like you said, they own AWS too, which is a huge, like how you own the back end, the front end. I need to put something in the store. I need to have a service. Like I got my hand reached everywhere. Yeah, they're gonna break them up. There'll be a breakup. I don't know how's it gonna go down. I'm sure they're trying to lobby and fight, but eventually, because I think there's a bill in Congress, and that's why if you've seen commercials, I know I've seen it in Georgia. So I don't know which senators are on the wall or on the fence, not on the wall, but on the fence, as far as which way they're going to vote. So they've been saying, if they vote this bill, you won't get Prime services anymore. I don't. And if we really truly believe in capitalism, then competition is part of this. And, just because I shouldn't be able to just reach everywhere because I got a lot of money. It needs to be competition, right? That's what the monopoly and antitrust bills have happened. All right. Good morning, Deborah. Let's roll into the topic. Speaking of rolling into, coming all the way from Okinawa, Japan, by way of Kankakee, Illinois, Mr. Pastor, the man, with the master plan, Pastor Brian A. McCrory, Senior in the building. Let's go. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody this morning?
I'm trying to work on my Steve Harvey announcements. Let's go. Don't think will happen. Can't see it. We'll take. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna happen, Richard. It's gonna happen. I know it's hard to believe it because I'm sure when AT&T broke up, people were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they broke up AT&T." So I definitely, when it comes to stuff like this, yeah, there's always a breaking point. Now, watching John Oliver, he was saying some of the, of course, constituent or senators' children do work for some of these companies. So yes, that's gonna be a conflict of interest. But yeah, eventually will. Let's see. You ain't gotta do that. She said you may want to leave that to Steve Harvey, not your anointing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
What's the lead with the Steve Harvey?
Oh, my announcing skills. Oh man. All right, let's go. All right, so today we're talking about does your discipline match your expectation? Just so they become huge. Yeah, probably, but they'll slow them down because AT&T was still big. But anyway, I know I opened up the conversation, but we'll dig into that maybe at the end of the show, and I'll see what Pastor feels about that. But today, right now, in this space, we're talking about, does your discipline match your expectations? Does your discipline match your expectations? And why or why not? And this doesn't need a whole lot of clarity, but if whatever you're going after, you desire, because each one of us has certain specific, desires or goals or certain lifestyles that we're trying to achieve. Are you putting in the daily work, to be disciplined in order to get to that space, whether it be a business, financial, ministry wise, or even relationship wise? We want a specific relationship, but we're not willing to put in the work, and we feel like it should just come to me because I'm a good person. It should just happen. But we're not willing to have the disciplines in order to sometimes achieve, even in relationships, certain levels of lack of a better word, happy in your relationship, because you're not willing to put in the work. And you just want, you speak that you're fine, but they don't need, I'm good. They're the ones that need to change, kind of situations. And you gotta be realistic about how to get there and what's it going to take, the daily regimens of having, and a lot of times if you're already in a relationship, having the tough conversations in order to get to a space of working well. He said teams and teamwork make the dreams and goals work. Indeed. Indeed. So, Pastor, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to everyone on BOL.
Yes, indeed. So what would someone's, or even some of your disciplines, like to get to the space? Because for me, outside, you know, you're in a pretty good space when it comes to family ministry. You have a good grasp on certain things. And what were some of the disciplines that help you get to the space that you wanted to be in? If that makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's my own question.
Well, first and foremost, I'm so grateful to God for all the things that He has proven out in my life, good, bad, or indifferent, because they've all been learning lessons for me. When you say in a good space, I believe that being in a good space is a product of your mindset in spite of what you might be going through. Right?
Right.
Because I have a great number of challenges that I'm faced with today.
Right.
And some of them are really, really serious, and some of them can really drive high levels of anxiety. But God.
Right.
So I first want to make sure that we understand that, when you make the statement being in a good space, you said it perfectly. You said from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the discipline comes in how you go through, how you manage your today in regards to, or in contrast with your expectations. So I have an expectation that, most of the challenges that I'm dealing with are going to work out, and they're going to work out in my favor.
Right. Okay.
I believe that. I also recognize that some may not.
Right.
So I have an expected outcome, but discipline says I can also prepare that it may not come out the way that I want it.
Right.
So the discipline is in how I go through, not so much aiming for my expectations. I think that we all aim high. We all want the best of whatever we can get access to, whatever we can experience in life, but we know we're not going to get that all the time. So the discipline for me, the getting up, the working at it every day, the communication, the reasoning, that's the discipline that ensures, or at least increases the odds that things will work out positively.
Right. So you said something, like even when, you're working towards something and maybe at least it doesn't look like what you want it to look like, being able to stay in the fight. And I feel like to kind of what they say, looking on the brighter side of things, right? Being able to throw away the negative. Like, I ain't like this part, but I at least got this out of it, like a bad banana. Sometimes it's like, you take off the bad, like, all right, well, I got that much left, I got something out of this, and it's funny, I guess the banana analogy is like, even if you're growing it, like, okay, I'm gonna grow these, boom, we're gonna snack on these. But we know, like with plants, every piece is not gonna be great. Every piece is not gonna be in fruition. It's not gonna, like, okay, give it a little more time. And then when it comes, it still goes bad. Like, wait a minute. It was just turning yellow. I go from yellow to black, just like that, and we gotta take what's good and utilize that and not get hung up on the bad and just stay on track, so I like that, because I know for me historically I've been a starter stop, stop starter start start, start at it. Oh, it's not either. I'm not seeing it, and it's a lot of work, and I'm just like, I lose my reason for why I started this thing. Like, you know, my exhaustion grew bigger than my reason for starting, and I'm like, I ain't about to do all that, you know. And I'm gonna keep 100. That happened even in my own relationship. Like, it's not working, you know. And it took understanding the getting to the goal, to the harvest, is staying in the fight, even when the harvest doesn't look as full as you want it to be. And I think, and that comes with discipline as well, you know, just knowing that, being like a farmer. I always feel like that farmer mentality, like, all right, go out here, we're gonna plant, we're gonna wait, we're gonna till, we're gonna wait, you know, you're gonna watch, you know, we're gonna wait. And you got, and it's that patience. And even when you don't see it, because you know, when you plant seeds, you have no idea if it's gonna come up. You have, you know, it's just like you said, it's a faith, it's a hope that you believe in. Okay, God, I know planting these seeds, I'm doing like YouTube said, I'm tilling the ground. And you know, you go out there the first week, like, I don't see nothing.
Yeah.
You know, how do you
think about the, you know, what is that story Les Brown tells about the Chinese bamboo tree? Right. You plant the seed in the ground, you water it, 5 years before it breaks through.
Right.
You have to keep watering it even though you see nothing.
Right.
It's in the soil. You have to believe that your consistency, your discipline,
right,
with watering it will yield a harvest, will yield a tree birthing through the ground. Right. And when it comes up, it grows how many feet in how much time? What is that? Do you have that? I know people know that story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody put it in the comments. How long? What did Les Brown say it takes? How long? It takes 5 years for it to come through the ground.
And I think,
but then when it actually breaks through, it grows 100 feet tall in less than what?
Let's see. Who knows? Sam says, I think my work matches my expectations. My problem is when folks get involved in my middle.
But that's your work also.
Right.
When people get involved, you're disciplined with their engagement, their involvement, their comments, their actions.
Right.
There's discipline through the process.
Right.
So it's discipline in every area that helps you get to your goal.
Right.
Because if people get in the middle of the process and interrupt your discipline, your cadence, then that has an impact on when you get your results and what those results look like. So discipline gets applied in every area, even when trouble comes. There's a discipline to trust and believe in spite of what I might see, in spite of this answer, this response not being the response that I was looking for.
Right.
People walk away from me. Does that mean I quit? You know, do I keep going, knowing that there's still a target for what I'm trying to achieve, trying to market, trying to present? You know, so there's discipline in so many different areas. I love the point that you make there, Samantha, because most people overlook that part. They sit down and they do their own thing, and they say things like, as long as nobody messes with me, I'll be fine.
Right.
Lo and behold, somebody comes and messes with you and you're not fine. What does that do to your expected outcome?
Yeah, definitely. So it's 5 years before it breaks. And then in 6 weeks, it grows 80 feet.
80 feet in 6 weeks. You waited 5 years for growth.
To see anything.
And somebody be sitting around complaining, saying, well, after 5 years of waiting for growth, couldn't I get 85 feet?
Right. Right. Definitely. Man, that is some serious discipline right there.
Yeah.
Be able to, and I guess it's that faith. It's like I know it's gonna happen. I don't know when, but I'm just keep at it. It's got to have that. We always
I
talk about
believe it will
right,
happen.
right, right. Yes, I believe, I feel it, I know it. It's good. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I guess, I get it gets tiring at times. And it gets weary. Get weary. Don't get weary in well doing. But you have to keep pressing. I get to is dealing with them. Okay, is dealing with them really worth what I'm working towards? Yes. Yes. I feel like some things are trying of your faith. Some things are part of what you're becoming to get to your destiny. And though you may feel like I'm just supposed to get there are a lot of times there are people attached to where you're getting. So those folks, though annoying, though it's hard, and they're gonna throw you for a loop, are part of the testing of where you're trying to get to. It's never, of course, a perfect journey because it's patience and it's the trying of our faith as well. So we got to keep at it and hear the discouragement of other people to get to where we're going. Because think about planning. Like I'm out there, I've got the seeds out, and there's always somebody. Ain't nothing ever gonna grow out that ground. You've been at this thing for 4 years. Then there's hey, Pastor. Then it's did you put it in the ground right?
Right.
Did you
put
turn
too much
the dirt
water
over?
on it? You said, the leaves are yellow. How they go from yellow to black? Well, first of all, if they're yellow is a sign of too much water
Right.
on the plant.
Yeah.
Right. You're watering it too much.
Yeah.
Dry it out means you haven't given it anything.
Right. Right.
So,
hey, what's up, Robin? Good morning.
We approach things in so many different ways. I just believe that when it comes to achievement or pursuit of achievement, pursuit of greatness,
right,
it requires a blind faith. Right. And I mean blind to the attacks. The attacks happen, but when you begin to visualize the attacks more than you visualize your expected outcome, you lose sight of your expected outcome. Right. When the problem becomes bigger than the goal.
Right.
You lose sight of the goal. You get blinded by the problem. And so I'd say have a blind faith, which means you only see your goal. Right. It's like a football player, a running back or receiver practicing on the practice field. And they have these big machines that are set up as blockers, and you have to run through this tackle machine, right? Yeah. Where you got these big pads and they're hitting on you as you're trying to run through, right? But you got to stay focused on the end zone. And if you stay focused on the end zone, some things may hit you, but you keep digging in, keep driving forward and not let that stuff hinder you. Or even if it hinders you, don't let it stop you.
Right.
That's real.
Definitely.
Because that's what the naysayers are like, those blockers trying to keep you from getting there.
Right.
Right. You got to keep going. You got to keep pressing, keep running.
Right.
Keep
and
pushing.
It'll get in your head. And we won't tell you. Well, I know for me, it'll get in your head because you're like, did I do that right? Is this gonna work? I have been doing this a while, and I'm still watering. Did I put too much water? Did I not put enough water? And like you said, if we're on the bamboo, you can't really see it. You don't know what's happening underground. You just keep watering and hoping, keep watering and hoping. And like I said, you always got somebody who's never planted anything in their life. You're like, did you put enough water? Did you till the land? Did you do this? Did you do that? Oh, hold on. And then you get, this is why I don't plant bamboos. That's why I never plant bamboo, Or man, I tried this once 8 years ago. That's why I don't ever work. Right. Exactly, Richard. On point with that. So them naysayers think they protecting you. They think they protecting you. Right. So whatever your expectations are, you gotta be just discipline to stay in it. You know, whatever you started, whatever your journey is, whatever the expected outcome that you're trying to get to, stay in it. Stay in it, stay in it, stay in it. Don't get discouraged. Don't let outside folks, especially, you know, people can say certain things like this, everybody's not a hater, right? I'm gonna clarify that. Everybody's not a hater. Everybody's not necessarily a naysayer, especially anybody that is affected by your future. You know, like people that are actively investing in certain ways into your future. They may just offer a perspective. You understand? Just kind of give you a moment to kind of look at it.
So you're saying your interpretation of their perspective could be perceived as negative connotations?
Right. Because I tell people, like, you can't block everybody out. 4 or 5 people kind of tell you the same thing. You kind of
right. Don't confuse constructive criticism with being a naysayer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's the first thing. You just hate. No, I need you to kind of look at it a little. I'm not, especially if I'm like, I'm not telling you to stop. I just need you to take a look, take a step back.
Yeah.
Look at the presentation that you give. You know, because let's keep real. We've seen folk like hard at work was like, oh, your presentation just needs a little twist. Like, you're good, but you just, you know. So just be willing. You have to be willing to listen to, especially to those that are one in the same work, or someone that's maybe working hard on their end with, like Pastor, or their end of the wall doing something. You know, they just may look over and say, "Hey, you might want to try this. You know, this may look a little better for you." So, and I don't know, I felt it down in my shondo. I need to say that because you hear some who haters. Everybody's just a hater. No, everybody's not a hater because we got them. And I'm gonna keep it real because, just like I said, there folks has never done nothing. Always got an opinion about everything. Those are the haters. they always got some negative. I wouldn't do that. You know, that stuff don't work. If they sound like that, yeah, they're a hater. Hater, naysayer, whatever you want to call it. Because some folks, just because they can't see it, and like Richard said, they feel like in some strange way I'm trying to protect you from the hurt of this not working. You know,
some of that hurt is necessary.
Right. And in their mind, they think they're doing a good thing by trying to I wouldn't do that. It's gonna take a long time and a lot of your money. It may never work. And you just go like, well, if it don't, I can at least say I tried. Right. You know, and you gotta get in that space like, well, if it don't, what else? And the question is, what else are you doing? And if this is it, why not keep pushing at it and just sitting chilling with the naysayer or the person doing nothing, you know? So stay in the fight. That's if you get anything out of today, whatever it is that you're going after, if you haven't started doing the work and being disciplined, do the work and be disciplined. You know, like I said, seek the opinion of those that have experience pushing, because sometimes they may not be in the same space because there's stuff I'm not familiar with, but someone tell me about, it's like, boom, it seems like you got passion. It seems like you got focus. You just stay at it. Stay at it, you know, and something will happen. And the thing is, right, another thing. So with your discipline, something always happens though. Something always comes out of it, you know, because where I'm at now, this wasn't part of the goal. It just things is kind of shaped that way. So your discipline, something comes out of it. Someone sees it and said, man, I see you here doing this thing all the time. I see you all the time running up and down. You know, I see you have discipline. And I'm going to get it wrong because I want Pastor to repeat it. He mentioned something because I was all like, college, But he said something, broke down, you know, your bachelor's, your master's, and your doctorate, and what it really means. Not in terms of subject, but in terms of what is, you said college, you said your bachelor's is showing that you can do go ahead, you say it because I'm gonna mess it up.
And remember, these are not necessarily the views of professionals in academia.
Right.
This is just, I had a conversation with a very well-educated gentleman,
Okay.
probably 25, 30 years ago. And he said in your grade school,
Mhm.
to excel in grade school, come on, baby, just requires discipline, consistency.
Right. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So 80%, almost 90% of your grade is just doing the work, getting your work
Right.
done. That's in grade school,
Right.
K through 12. Undergrad, your 4-year degree is a validation that you can leave your parents' home, set a goal, and
Right.
achieve your goal.
Right.
Because there are many goals through your 4 years of college that you have to
Right.
set. No one's going to make you get up and study. No one's going to make you go to class, right?
Mhm.
So that's a validation of your discipline and your ability to set a goal and accomplish the goal.
Right.
Your master's degree, your postgrad degree that's when the student essentially becomes the teacher,
Right.
right? And then your doctorate is when you begin to write a new path
Right.
in your area of specialty.
Right.
You give a different perspective, a new
Right.
perspective,
Right.
untested perspective. And then that gets tried, your dissertation gets tried. So that's simply put,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
obviously there's a lot more to it, but that's just
Yeah.
my layman's understanding.
I mean, I like that because it kind of made sense. It's a bit of a perspective on just being in school, period.
Yeah.
Because it takes it, especially undergrad, you're 19, 20, away from home. It's all you, it's all you, because even if you're at home, maybe the most, you might have a parent wake you up like, yo, didn't you say you got a 7 o'clock class? Like maybe, but overall, no teacher's gonna call your parent. No one's called. If they get a call, it's because they kicking you out. Just to let you know, I know you've been financing. We don't need your money because they're not gonna be here. Like that's the letter. That's it. It's just, but outside of that, yeah, there's no daily calls. There's no, there's no checking in other than they see your grades and see where you at. That's it. And
Right.
what you showed them. But yeah, so that is a level of responsibility. And like I said, the master, like he's, the student becomes a teacher, and that's a whole nother level of discipline. So shout out to everyone that goes to school, not even just reach the doctorate. Shout out to those that's made it that far, but just being in school. Shout out to you for staying in the fight, having that discipline. And that's what we talk about. And if anything, that's what I'm trying to instill into my children. Like most people want to instill in their children discipline, just to have like, okay, you want this, you see it. Now how you going to go after it? And then that's it. I think it's like, I don't care where you go. Well, as long as it's legal work and it's good work, you making a difference, stay in this fight. You know what I'm saying? So I think,
Yep.
And that's how it is for me. Like I'm not trying to make them do or push them in a particular direction. You try to shape them because you're like, okay, I see you look like you got interest there. Let's make this thing happen. Or it looks like you got a talent there. Let's make this thing happen. Like let's take it to the next level. And I feel like the staying in the fight is definitely, it helps in every area, because if you get the discipline to do one thing, you can have the discipline to do something else. Even in your relationships, you have the discipline to work it out. You have the discipline to get through the rough spots or when
Right.
trials or issues. And if you have the discipline to reach out for help in one area, you know how to reach out for help in other areas. And I think that's huge. That's huge. So listen, let me know what you guys think. Are you a starter and stopper? Can you admit it? Because that was me for a long time. Like I start, stop. Because I would give myself at least a month, maybe, on certain things. Just, because if you're starting a new discipline to get to a goal, you got to get out of your old routines. So it's either getting up early, staying up late, changing some kind of habit, replacing this habit with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whether it's studying, exercising, something changes in order for you to get to your goal. And you have to be willing to just stay in it, like every day. If it's getting up, I'm getting up. I got to get this thing. It's an alarm. Boom, 5 o'clock. I'm up. Let's go. And being able to just stick with it. And like you said, like anything, you're not going to see results instantly, but you got to at least get the satisfaction of making it through, the process.
I'm grateful for, a lot of people say, like graduate high school, you
right.
Go to college, you get your degree. Like I went to the military
right
upon graduating high school. And I say this to my mom. I say this to people all the time, that I'm so grateful that I chose the military first. My grandfather planted that seed in me when I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
Okay.
One of the 2 times that I saw him in my life.
Okay. Got you.
And so, he came to town a couple of times and he marched me up and down the street. We'd walk downtown, that kind of stuff. And he always made me stand outside the store at parade rest. And, he put me through these drills when I was young, very young.
Wow.
And it planted a seed because I knew that he had fought in the war. He was a veteran. And he wanted to share some of that experience with me.
Right.
But graduating high school and going to the military first taught me to get up, not only to get up, but to get up and get to productivity early. Right. There used to be commercials back in the day, in the U.S. Army, you do more before 9 than most people do all day.
Right.
That's true. It's absolutely true.
Right.
Because your day starts at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
You're up doing PT. You got to, you go, you exercise, you run, you do all this. You got to come back. You got to shower. You got to get your uniform together. You got to go to breakfast. You got to, hit your locker, get your weapon, clean your weapon. There's so many things that you do. And, first formation is PT, physical training. But the first formal formation for the day is like 9 o'clock. But by the time 9 o'clock comes, you've done so many things already. Right. And what they always did was they try to press on you to get 75% of your work done before noon.
Wow. Gotcha.
Right. Why?
Right.
Because in combat, most attacks, the most effective attack happens in the early morning because most people are still asleep. They can catch you sleeping.
Right.
But if you have the discipline to get up, to be up and ready to go, and prepared,
right,
people can't catch you sleeping.
Wow.
How many of y'all know that, even like bad dreams come in the wee hours in the morning? Right. They don't come when you first go to sleep.
Right.
The enemy attacks when you're in your REM sleep.
Right.
When people, prayer warriors, when they say the best time to pray is early in the morning. Right. You know what they say? Yeah. I mean, because the discipline to get up early and attack your day early puts you ahead of the game. And that's something that I learned. Well, kind of what I learned in the military. The military taught me consistency. Get up every day, shine your shoes, make your bed. There are certain things you had to do every single day. They were on you. If you did not do the things, you got in trouble. But it taught something. Today, I fold clothes better than anybody in my house.
Right.
My wife washes clothes and just puts them in a basket and just puts them in the room. The only way she'll fold clothes is if I'm not around.
Wow.
Right. So I love the military for that.
Right.
The military taught me you go to work unless you're sick.
Right.
And in the military, you couldn't tell yourself you were sick. They had to tell you that you were sick. Right. If I don't feel good today, Sergeant, go to sick call. Go see the doctor. Let them tell you that you're sick. Otherwise, I'll see you in formation.
Right.
right?
Wow.
So discipline, it's mind over matter. In professional sports, they tell you there's a difference between playing hurt and playing injured.
Right.
Right? You got to know the
Definitely.
discipline you have to have enough discipline to know the difference. You have to have practiced enough
Yeah.
and worked with your body enough to know the difference between your body being hurt and your body being injured. That
Right.
takes discipline.
Definitely. That's good. This is a good conversation. This is life. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I guess in some respect, I wish I went to the military. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring my, because like I was a fat boy. Like I didn't run, I didn't do push-ups. My physical exercise was already.
But
horrible.
again, you're stuck on the picture of you
Right.
today.
Right.
Right. That day you looked at
Right.
yourself back then. I'm too big. I'm too fat. Yeah. But guess what? With discipline in the military,
Right.
you're no longer fat.
Right. Right. I think I've seen too many movies. I was like, I'm gonna be that dude getting yelled at.
Oh, yeah. Because you're going to get picked on. You're going to get those voices, those blockers, those trying to keep
Right.
you.
Yes.
But you
And I
got to
probably
stay
needed that.
focused.
100%. I definitely needed it.
Yeah.
Seeing it now, I was like, yeah, I definitely, not even probably, I needed it. Outside of having to deal with the fighting or go somewhere and something possibly happen, because I would probably been in my age, I would probably been in the Afghan war or something, I would have went over there maybe once when they were fighting for oil, with Clinton. But outside of that, yeah, I definitely would need it. He said, I wish I would have now be retired now because father did 20 plus years. Nice.
Yeah. Well, you talk to people in the military and the first thing they tell you is don't go to the military. Yeah. I say that to people. No, you don't need the military. You don't need to go to that. No. You go to school, start your business.
Right.
You don't need to
don't
go
need
to
the
the military. I don't recommend that.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it, but I don't recommend it.
You're right. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Like,
There are
man,
other things you can
it was
do.
an awesome experience. No, don't go though. Don't.
It was an awesome experience. Looking back,
Right. In the middle of it's like, this is horrible. I hate this.
yeah,
I hate this.
that doesn't make me anti-American because I'm
No,
making these things.
not at all. Because it's an unfortunate. Somebody we got to fight. We're always
Somebody's got to
fighting.
fight,
Somebody
and I'm
gotta
grateful for every soldier. I am
Yes.
one.
Yes, indeed. We're definitely grateful.
But I would just say that, and don't get me wrong, the military is for a lot of people, and I don't want to take away from the conversation.
No,
It's just not for everybody,
right.
and I just don't think it's for anybody that I know.
Haven't met the person, like, you know what? Military would be good for you. It would. Be.
Yeah. I meet young people like that, but I'm talking about some military discipline training.
Yeah. No,
I'm
I
not
know.
saying
I
go
got
to
you
the
saying.
army.
No, I
or
get
go
what
to
you're
the
saying.
Marines. Yeah,
Like you're a little wild. You need some real someone to be in your face. You
Right.
need someone in your face. Like,
and I've
you
done
have
that.
no choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yoda said, "All my life, I've done that all my life. I've when I see young boys, cutting up and stuff,
Right.
I go straight to that military regimented
Right.
dialogue.
Right.
Did you make your bed today?
Right.
I bet you didn't even make your bed today. Did you even brush your teeth? You had to doing all this talking, and you got chalk in your mouth. I talk madness to these guys, man. The young people they cut up,
Right.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right, guys. So we appreciate you for rocking with us, hanging with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Make sure you share, join our text community, text LW into 84576, and join our Discord page as well. What is that?
Thanks, Mom.
Appreciate that, Mom. Where's it at? Where did I put it? right over here. Boom. Join our Discord community. Today is Wednesday, hump day. I mean, I don't know, it's just the middle of the week. For some, it's just another day for me because I think all my days are like the same. So it's a work day every day.
Wednesday when you
It's all
work
good.
7 days a week.
You said what's that?
What is Wednesday when you work 7 days a week?
Right. And I'm gonna keep it real. I mean, I enjoy the space that I'm in. I'm gonna keep it 100. I enjoy the space that I'm in. It gets rough sometimes, but it's just I love it. I thank God for it. So
Let me tip my hat to you. Someone told me yesterday that the intro, this is a compliment of your discipline.
Okay.
The intro for Solomon's Temple, someone told me yesterday, is the best in the jurisdiction.
Wow.
It's the best intro in the jurisdiction.
Okay.
And so people are asking, could he do something like that for us?
Okay. I sure can.
And I said, he sure can.
Right, Sam. Yes. Awesome. Yes, indeed. Yes. Tell them about Well, we'll talk after.
Yeah.
So we look forward to seeing you guys same time, same channel. Know that we love you. That's right. Your man did this.
Yes.
Right, Rollins. Right. So we look forward to seeing you guys same time. Be blessed, keep pushing, keep growing, and know that we love you. God loves you more. And just stay safe. That's it. That's all. I'm out. We're gonna throw the peace sign.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand